she said there's like 40 journalists on.
Right now? I hope we don't get 40 questions.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Hi to everyone in India, and welcome Ricky, welcome Shreyas for our pre-season press conference. It's a very different one, just as it is for you guys and the ones who've logged in. For the rest of you, like we mentioned you earlier, we've got the chat box open for you guys to drop in your questions. So I'll pick and choose those questions from here, just trying to do it in a controlled way because the circumstances are so different. I have all your names and your organization's names in there. So I will address it, whether it's for Ricky or for Shreyas, and then we can start. And as mentioned, once this is done, we will share the recording so that you all have the material with you. Okay. Coach, first question is for you. This is from Mona Parthasarathi from the Press Trust of India. Mona asks, the IPL means packed stadiums, cheerleaders, loyal supporters, and fun elements apart from the cricket. Considering the current scenario and the new normal, is it going to be additional pressure on you and the coaching staff to prepare the team mentally to be playing in these empty stadiums?
Certainly, it's going to be different. I think everything about our preparation so far for this IPL has been completely different anyway. I mean, the fact we've actually done 3.5 weeks of training already leading into our first game. You know, the boys, all the squad here have obviously been under very strict COVID protocols, which has been unusual and been different. And, you know, we haven't got around to playing our first game yet. So, you know, once we do get into our first game, you know, playing in front of an empty stadium will be different. There'll be some challenges there for the boys. And but I think once we do start, it's going to be about our group creating their own atmosphere and their own energy on the ground and trying to run with that and not expecting, you know, the crowds actually in the stadium to be able to lift us or do anything like that. So we know that we will have great support all around India, certainly in Delhi to support the Capitals. And we just got to make sure that we're doing the right thing by our fans and spectators. And so far, I think the coaching group have done a good job to get the players prepared. And now it's up to all of us to make sure we're ready to go for the first game tomorrow.
Okay. Shreyas, this one's for you from Rakhi Sharma from the BBC. She asks, how have the new additions in the form of Ravichandran Ashwin and Ajinkya Rahane strengthened the team? Also, given that we're not going to be playing at our home ground, does the game plan change?
Well, definitely they bring us a lot of strength and experience. And if you see the practice sessions which we've had over the last few days, we've been amazing and on point. Every individual was trying to get the best out of what we did. And also, you know, all the support staff and especially Ricky being around, it gives that sense of confidence for all the players to give the best. And, you know, you don't feel that they are the seniors in the team, but, you know, at the same time, when you play around with them, you feel that they are part of the team and they just happily help every individual in the team, especially the juniors.
Right. Shreyas, also there was that bit about the challenges of playing here now that we're not going to be playing at the bases that we're familiar with.
Obviously, it is going to be a big task for us, but Dubai being a slow wicket, it is going to really help us in the second half of the season. And, you know, Ashwin with coming from Kingsland, Punjab, he brings in a lot of experience and he's obviously used to bowling in all sort of conditions. So this would be just another one and a good target for him to set up for the team.
Nitin Srivastava from ANI for Ricky. Ricky, do you think the fast bowlers can be effective on the pitches in UAE, or is it going to help the spinners more? This is a common one from a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what we've seen so far, I think the conditions might, as Shreyas was alluding to then, I think the conditions might change quite a bit through the tournament. You know, with only the 3 venues being used here in Dubai, I think there's like 24 games going to be played in this stadium. And speaking to the groundsman the other night, he's only got 4 wickets that he can use. So he's going to have 5 or more games on each pitch. So we trained at the main ground a couple of days ago. There was a lot of grass on the wicket, a lot of green grass on the wicket. I think by the time the game comes around tomorrow, there might be a little bit of that grass cut off. But I think at the initial part of this tournament, we might see the seam bowlers have a little bit of an impact. And then I think as the tournament goes on, I think the wickets will slow down and probably start to spin a little bit more. So, look, that's been our reading on the conditions so far. But we'll have a better idea tomorrow once we get to the ground. But I'm expecting that certainly in the first part that there won't be a lot of spin on offer, certainly here in Dubai anyway.
Shreyas, you can take this one, perhaps again, a common one from a bunch of journalists. What are the difficulties in adhering to the guidelines for the tournament? And what is the biggest challenge of being in the biosecure bubble?
It has been challenging this year, especially because it's pretty much unusual for us. We are used to staying out in the sun for almost like 6 hours every day. But yeah, being in the biosecure bubble and following the protocols, it's a new thing for us. And, you know, as a human being, it's really difficult to follow each and every aspect of whatever the rules are. But we are seeing to it that we give our best efforts to, you know, follow each and every rule. And at the same time, we are trying to, you know, come together as a team, and we do certain team activities which will help us entertain ourselves off the field, and also, you know, never make us feel that we are far away from our family.
All right. Ricky, this one's for you. And again, I've seen this multiple journalists asking this, including Neeru Bhatia from The Week and Arani from the Times of India. Your thoughts on how crucial a season this will be for Rishabh at the Delhi Capitals, and your expectations of him?
Oh, look, certainly. I mean, every season, every game that, you know, any of these guys play is always an important game for them. You know, it's important personally for all of these players, probably more so the Indian players than the overseas guys. But, you know, we as a coaching group or as a team here at Delhi Capitals, we don't put any added pressure on any of our guys. You know, we certainly as a coaching group, what we're trying to do is take as much pressure off the players as we can. We try to get them as well prepared as we can going into the first game, and then we'll let them go out there and express themselves and play the game that they want to play. I think that's a huge part of coaching, and certainly leadership is taking the pressure off. So, like, I've got pretty high expectations on what this team can achieve this year. I've got high expectations on what the players can achieve, but, you know, I don't expect anything of the players that they shouldn't expect of themselves. You know, so I'm sure Rishabh will be looking to have a big IPL tournament as he did last year and as he has done in the last couple of years for the Delhi Capitals. But, you know, we as a group, we're more about one person. We're more about one player. You know, we want to have a really even contribution from all of our playing squad through the tournament. And, you know, just watching Rishabh train, certainly the last week anyway, I think he's really turned the corner the last week, and I'm expecting him to have a really big impact on the tournament. We know he's a match-winning player, and if he can win the same amount of games that he won for us last year, then I think that should hold us in good stead.
Okay. Shreyas, question for you this time from Shiva Krishna. He's asking, having captained the team for the entire season last year, what are the lessons you've picked up that you would like to implement this time around?
Well, the lessons I've picked up from last year, obviously, we were a great bunch of players last season, and no one complained at any point of the game. You know, we were traveling regularly, we were practicing, training, and all of them, you know, never gave a reason that we are getting tired. And, you know, all those, the complacency wasn't there in the team. And that was the best part of the team. And, you know, every individual, they took responsibility in their own way and, you know, showcased their performance during the match. And yeah, all these aspects really helped us win and, you know, come in third position as a team. And also, you know, we were like a family last season. We stuck together in good and bad times, and we also celebrated our victory. So I think all those were the key aspects.
Okay. Ricky from Rakesh Rao from The Hindu. He's asking, unlike any other coach, pressure is going to be extra this time around simply because of the circumstances. As a player, there's a lot of pressure that you handled. What does that help you bring to the table in terms of just handling pressure about how different the circumstances are?
Oh, look, I don't think there's any more pressure on how we play the game. I mean, there's Shreyas mentioned earlier that, there's been external pressures on because of the bubble that we've been in, and we haven't been able to do things the way that we would normally do things. I mean, our meetings will be different. The way we're interacting, I guess, between training sessions has been a little bit different with social distancing rules and whatever else. But I don't see how there's any more pressure on. I mean, the fact that there's no crowds at the ground, I actually think that probably puts less pressure on the players. The less noise and everything there, I think probably creates less pressure. So I don't really understand why everyone's saying that there's going to be more pressure on. I think for us, it's just about, certainly as us as coaches, is about giving our players and giving the team the best chance to perform at a high level. And I think so far over the last 3.5 weeks, we've been able to do that with our training and our planning sessions. So look, we're just approaching our first game as we would any other game. As I said, I've got reasonable expectations of the level of performance that we can achieve, certainly in our first game. And that's all we're looking at. We're not looking any further ahead than game one. And hopefully we can get off to a good start.
All right. This is a common one, and either of you can take this really, which talks about the Delhi Capitals having a superb top order. Your thoughts on how you want to go about the middle order, the batting?
Look, we think, I mean, it's not just about our top order. We think we've got a really balanced squad of players. I think we've got a lot of competition for spots this year. We've got lots of flexibility in our whole group, and I think we'll end up having lots of flexibility through our batting order as well, whichever way we decide to go. Having someone like Ricky Ponting come into the squad has given us even more depth to our batting. Certainly our top order batting. Shikhar last year was probably as good as anybody opening the innings. I think he took his game to another level last year. We sort of challenged him at different times to probably up his strike rate a little bit, and he did that. I think he scored over nearly 600 runs again at a strike rate of about 140. So look, he had a super series last year. Prithvi, sure, from what I've seen, looks a better player again even this year. He's been training exceptionally well. We've got Shreyas next to the skipper, who's probably had his best ever 12 months as far as cementing a place in an Indian team. Rishabh Pant, Marcus Stoinis, Shimon Hetmai, Alex Carey. We think we've got lots of flexibility there. We've got good combinations with left hand and right hand as well. And then you add some all-rounders in like, Akshar Patel and Harshal Patel and Lalit Yadav. We feel that we've got a lot of bases covered. So, and what I will say is the way that these guys have trained and the way that they've prepared over the last 3 weeks has been exceptional. And I mentioned to them about a week ago, I'm not sure I've seen a group train and prepare as well as this team have. And even our second last session last night, some of the batting on display last night was absolutely top shelf. So I'm really excited about what our batting group and particularly our top order can bring to the IPL this year.
Shreyas, this one's for you. Have you been talking to the boys about how the celebrations are going to happen during the matches, since that's a part of the new normal?
We haven't decided anything about that, but we played 2 practice games, and in those practice games, we definitely didn't celebrate. But when we were coming together, we were giving each other fist bumps as we, saw few series happening before, how they were celebrating. So definitely we haven't been informed so far how to celebrate. So today is one of our sessions where we'll get to know about what we have to do and how we go about it.
All right, we'll take a few more questions. Ricky, this one's for you from Kushan Sarkar, and it's about Daniel Sams and how good an option he is after the Big Bash League.
Yeah, well, we obviously with Jason Roy being ruled out, we had to find a replacement. I've been able to watch Daniel Sams very closely over the last 3 or 4 years in the Big Bash. He's been one of the leading wicket takers in that tournament the last couple of years. He's a left-arm fast bowler. He sort of bowls at 135 to 140 kilometres an hour, can swing the new ball, and has got really good variations, which was probably the thing that was most appealing to me. Thinking about playing here, I think at the back end of the tournament, as I said earlier, I think the wickets will start to get a bit more abrasive and probably spin a little bit more. And I think the slower ball variations will probably hold in the wicket a bit more as this tournament goes on. And I think that's where Daniel will become very important for us. He's got very good off-cutter slow balls and bowls a good Yorker, bowls a good bouncer. So, and he's a gun in the field, which we'll see over the next couple of days. And he's a more than capable late order power hitter as well. So I just think he complements our squad really well. You know, with Rabada and Nortje being there, Ishant Sharma, Avish Khan, these sort of guys, I think to have that left arm option is something that most teams want. And if you look around the IPL, most teams have actually got that left arm option. So I just thought it was a really good fit for our squad.
This one's for you as well, Ricky, and this is soon becoming one of the most frequently asked questions to you. If you've had a session sitting down and talking to Ashwin about Mankade.
I've had more than one, actually. You know, that this topic hit the news probably about a month ago. It wasn't long before I left Australia. And I actually gave Ash a call that night. As soon as it hit the press, I gave him a call that night to get my points of view across. Since I've been here, I've actually done a podcast with him and talked about a lot of different scenarios and situations on that. And I think he's pretty clear with the way that we want to go about playing our cricket here at the Delhi Capitals. And as Shreyas will attest to, you know, when that did happen last year, you know, the first thing I did as a coach was sat down with all the players and we actually talked about it in the way that we wanted to go about our cricket. And it was decided then, not by me, it was decided by the whole group that we didn't want to play that way. And so, look, I think I understand why Ash did it last season, but also I think he's got a good understanding of the way that we want to play our cricket here in Delhi.
Shreyas, this one's for you from Prajakta. Your views on fans missing out this season. Is it a pro or cons for the players of all teams?
Well, you see, the protocols have been, adhered by ICC, so we definitely have to follow all the rules and regulations. But fans, obviously, when they are there in the stands, they give us that certain type of boost and the adrenaline subsequently. So, you know, would be missing them out there in the stadium, the cheer, the roar, and the support that we used to get last year. Definitely that would be missing, but there is going to be a certain provision for us. That's what we got to know from yesterday's captain's meeting. So let's see what they've got for us in store.
All right, we'll wrap this up with one more question, which is something that Ricky, you could take your thoughts looking ahead specifically to Kings 11 Punjab as opponents.
So we've done most of our research, most of our planning on Kings 11 for this first game, as you'd expect. We've got a little bit more to do today to make sure that we're 100% well planned for the game tomorrow. But look, the one thing I say about this IPL tournament is every squad is a really strong squad. I mean, we'll sit back here and talk about our Delhi Capitals squad, and we'll talk about how strong we think the squad is, and we think we've got great flexibility. We can guarantee that every other squad is saying exactly the same thing. So, we know as a team, and we learnt some lessons last year, that if we turn up 100% prepared to play and 100% committed to our plans and our tasks, then, you know, we think we're going to be really hard to beat against any team that we play against. So I'm looking forward to the challenge, as I'm sure all the players are. You know, it's been a long lead up to this first game, and the excitement around our group now is really strong. So I expect that we'll start the tournament off well tomorrow. And it doesn't matter who we play. You know, we'll prepare the same way every game, make sure that we've ticked all the boxes and that the guys are in the best physical, mental and tactical shape for the game. And right now we think we are well planned. And as I said, we're looking forward to bowling that first ball tomorrow and getting our IPL campaign underway.
I think the very last one, this one's also popped up a few times. What's been the talk about the saliva ban, which is part of our new normal? And really, is it something that affects T20 cricket in the least way? Either of you could take this.
So we're actually having a health and safety meeting later on this afternoon, where our doctor and our head physio will talk to us about a lot of these protocols that are in place. The saliva ban, a lot of these things, they'll end up being habits that the players will probably do something on that they don't even realise they've done. But it's something that we have to be really conscious of, because I know talking to our manager this morning, I know there are quite hefty fines. If a player does it more than 2 or 3 times, and there's going to be a big fine for the player that actually does put saliva on the ball. So we're looking for a bit of clarity. You know, is sweat allowed, for instance, that sort of thing. But, you know, we will be briefed today, and once the game starts, the players will be very aware of what they can or can't do. But I mean, generally, if you think about a T20 game compared to a test match, there's a lot less attention normally paid to the ball in a T20 game than there is in trying to maintain a ball in a test match. So I don't think it's that big a deal, but as I said, it does become habit, and one thing the players are going to have to be conscious of.
All right, we'll wrap it up with that one. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you, Shreyas, for your time. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.